يا مصريين، يا أردنيين، يا يا ليبيا، يا جزائر، يا تونس، يا مغرب، يا كل الشعوب العربية، يا كفار، يا عالم، يا عالم متنا من الجوع، يا عالم متنا من الجوع. افتح المعبر، الناس ماتت من الجوع، احنا متنا من الجوع يا عالم، يا عالم متنا من الجوع. وصل صوتنا يا عمي، متنا يا عالم من الجوع، يا عالم بكفي، يا عالم بكفي، والله العظيم بكفي.
All right, all right, all right. What is up? What is going on? It's your boy Maki Dan, the historian, coming to you with another stream for Democracy 101. Thank you to everybody coming through. Please smash the like button. I see my guy. I think that's my guy, Sean, right there. That's one of the first dudes I actually started to with talking on panels with. That was a long time ago. That was back in the H Money days. I hope that's my guy. Salute to you, Sean. Also, salute to my brother B3 Picks, my STN Sports Talk Network brother. Thank you so much for coming through, bro. How you doing, B3?
I'm doing good, my brother. I was just smashing the like button. Make sure y'all definitely salute to my brother Marky Dan. Appreciate you letting me on the panel, family. Let's get some work in.
Most definitely. Yeah, that's my brother right there. Salute, Sean. Good to see you, man. AC, my brother, how you doing?
What's good, bro? What's going on, man? Salute to everybody on the panel. Salute to everybody on the chat. Let's get this work, man.
Nah, most def, most def. I bet my brother Boxer Scholar is coming up. Thank you so much for coming through, Angie baby, once again. One of my main supporters. Let's go, guys. First topic we're gonna touch. I'm trying to find it.
Salute to the Queen
Can't.
Angie, baby.
Most def, most def. One of the day one loyal supporters. Oh, okay, I didn't get the picture, but that's okay. We're gonna be talking about firstly, a disgraced former Vegas Metro Police Sergeant Kevin Menon. This brother is a goddamn menace. We gonna go into that story first. Prosecutors accuse Menon of illegally detaining people on Las Vegas Strip, possessing hundreds of sexual images of young girls, installing cameras in bathroom vents that captured videos showing genitalia and buttocks of his wife and sister-in-law, who, from their own statement, said the recordings were consensual. After a search of Menon's home, police said they found numerous images of. I got a phone call. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
My bad. Continuing. After
Yeah,
a
we get
search
it.
of Menon's home, police said they found numerous images of child sexual abuse material on Menon's devices. Police would later return to Menon's home, where they found hidden cameras that Menon installed in his bathroom to record family members using the toilet. I just told you about his wife and sister-in-law just a moment ago. This resulted in another charge. Video shown to the grand jury in Menon's first case shows Menon directing. This is another thing. He don't just got the sex charges and the video charges. So this whole thing stems. They busted this dude. He basically had a scheme with the other officers to basically walk up and frisk people, and he had a bunch of illegal arrests on his record. But video shown to the grand jury in Menon's case shows Menon directing a team of officers to target individuals, pulling maneuvers such as shoulder check to agitate the target and then arrest him. All right, so I'm gonna come to my brother B3 Picks first, and I really wish that I could have this dude's picture, cause he looks like he regretted not a damn thing he did. B3 Picks, what's your what's your thoughts on just a menace like this? The fact that a menace like this could get a badge and a gun.
Man, it's disgusting, man. It just shows you how despicable of a country, parts of our country is. We do have beautiful parts with intelligent people in place to kind of make sure the structure of their communities as well. But then we have other, excuse my language, shithole type
That's
of.
his face, by the way. B3.
Yeah, and this is the type of guy. He looks like he's been dealing with a lot of trauma in his own personal life. He may have been great. So I mean, with all due respect, man, I just feel like guys like this, you really gotta pray for them, and keep your distance, because certain people like this, they are without God. You can tell, they've steered away from the righteous path, and to expose your wife and family members, and kind of like prostitute them out in a sense, or whatever he was doing, it's despicable, man. uh and he definitely needs to be locked up.
Yeah. By the way, he just got through sentencing. He's getting 4 to 10 years. He took a plea deal. He pled. I think he had 50 charges. He basically pled to everything. Then he got up on the stand and basically said that this is
Salute to my brother
absurd. I
Free in
never
the
did.
building.
Yeah, salute to D Free in the building. Then he got up on the stand and said, "This is absurd. I'm an asset to this community. You're a goddamn pervert with a badge and a gun." And and we really don't know how many people he actually sent down for a ride to county. How many people
Hmm.
might have got assaulted while they were sitting in jail waiting for their cases to be thrown out from this absurd ass human being. My brother
Mhm.
AC.
Yes,
What's
sir.
your thoughts on this scumbag?
I'm gonna say it like this, bro. It it comes down to, just like in many Fortune 250 companies, many federal type jobs, when you become a public servant, the policy should be everyone is extremely vetted. That means your social media, you give up certain passwords and shit like that, because you're representing the public. You feel what I'm saying? The public is entrusting you
100%.
to the point where the public said, give that man a gun, a weapon of death. And if you're not vetting the mental capacity of people, every police department across this country is doing its citizens a huge disservice. Because if you start doing shit like this, guess what? There are less and less police complaints, because police know now I'll be held accountable for my actions on the job and for my actions off the job. And at the end of the day, if they're not willing to talk about this type of stuff moving forward, then it's, listen, man, I don't know what happens to the public trust in the officers that the public says, yeah, these people righteously so should have a firearm.
No, absolutely. You brought up a lot of great points right there. Excuse me, AC. I mean, community trust, public trust in these individuals, it's already at an all time low. But now we find out that you're actually hiring scumbags like these. That through your entire process, y'all weren't able to find something with this sick individual when he's supposed to go through what's the term he's supposed to go through psych checks when he gets to the academy, I believe.
Yeah.
But the even
Like
more
he died, yeah.
another question I have for both of y'all. Recently, Donald Trump made the decision to basically 86 the National Police Registry, which basically allows for different departments, if you're fired in one locality for some type of misconduct before the registry, you could just go to the next county or go to the state over and get hired with another department. The registry helped to curb a lot of that. Donald Trump has now 86 that it's gone. So let's just live in a world where this guy did not get charged with the sex crimes and he's not going to be on a registry for the rest of his life. Could you imagine if this person is given another job? Because that's a real possibility at this moment for people that are charged with excuse me, with misconduct and have actually sent people to jail on false charges. What's your thoughts on that, B3?
you know It's despicable, man, because it sounds like a good old boys type of system, of course. Good old boy type activities where
Scumbag
we
off my
know
page.
yeah, we know who majority of the police officers is going to be, or the people that are going to be working in these departments, predominantly whites and Hispanics. Of course, we do have, in certain locales like New York, major metropolitan areas, DC, like our brother Free. We're gonna have black law enforcement in these areas, but for these smaller towns, it's unfortunate that these guys they can commit heinous crimes or do things outside of the law, but because they have the complexion for the protection, because they are unmelanated people, then they're going to be rules are circumvented. So as we see time and time again, these guys will be written up or kicked out of one precinct, and then we find out they in another precinct doing the same type of things, uh, possibly even being a menace to society with a badge. So I mean, this is just, I mean, Trump at his finest. You know what I'm saying? Doing things to ensure that his voters, his supporters, have all the ammunition they need to enact out their plan, which of course is to uh, keep the country as white as possible.
No, most deaf. And we see what one part of what you said, I mean, we see that happen all the time with police officers getting rehired, or at least we saw it a lot more before the registry, where I remember there was, I guess, what you call it, a street takeover, when the cars be out there doing donuts at the traffic lights, and they got it on video. This cop walked up and socked this dude in the mouth. He didn't even do nothing. He was just on the sidewalk talking, and he goes over to the next county and gets hired. And it was a big uproar about that type of stuff. And furthermore, I also agree with you about that next part. They want this country to remain as white as possible. That's what they talk about when they say we want to make America great again. This country is headed towards Hispanic non-Caucasians being the majority. They know their time to do all this weird and crazy crap over the minorities is short. So they trying to get as many of these Hispanics up out of here. I'm gonna go to you, AC. How do you
Well,
feel about the National Registry being taken down, as well as individuals who commit acts of misconduct, such as falsely arresting people or setting up their subordinates to falsely arrest people, could now get jobs elsewhere? How do you feel about that?
well, I'm going to speak at 2 points. My first point is it goes to why the National Registry, just like the brother said earlier, why it had to be developed in the first place. Because the police violence and the fact that one cop can literally kill someone, beat someone, it's on videotape. You know what I'm saying, and then go to another not state but county and become police chief because they like the attitude of that guy. His supposedly when we were talking about the police department waging war on its own citizens, we were talking about the famous quote of Nancy Reagan, "Just say no to drugs," and Ronald Reagan's pledge for the war on drugs, which is sitting president is basically doing the same thing that Ronald Reagan did back in the day. But they said it was a war on drugs, just using that as a dog whistle for we're going to go to war with poor black people and we're going to show them and we're going to militarize the police and a bunch of other shit. So now, when for my opposite flip of that, not necessarily opposite, but my own personal experience. I lived in Long Island for a while, Westbury. There was a white cop. I forget his the nickname that people were giving him, but he was known through Nassau County, making false arrests, beating up young black kids and stuff like that, robbing them. He had a whole drug task force unit that were literally robbing drug dealers in Hempstead, Uniondale, Freeport, and Westbury. You feel what I'm saying? Crossing county lines to go chase someone, and then when they catch you, they're gonna beat you up and rob you. There were
Damn.
over 1,000 complaints against this officer. Do you now know in this day and age, 2025, thanks to Long Island Auditor, that this guy is now up for Suffolk County Police Commissioner? And we talking about that same thing right there. Now, if that's not befitting to the topic, it's like, wow. So anybody here in New York, anybody that's here, that's listening to this in Suffolk County, go out and protest, because I believe y'all know what I'm talking about. This dude should be nowhere near a commissioner, because just think about what's about to happen in Suffolk County and the history of abuse in Suffolk County, from Central Islip, Huntington, all of those type of places. So at the end of the day, it's the small pockets. You know what I'm saying? Even though New York is just pretty much known for Manhattan, Brooklyn, or Manhattan and the five boroughs, we do have small pockets of where these things happen and are happening all day, because these guys are just um, violating that, and the counties don't want to necessarily do nothing about it. So they figured, well, we'll just transfer him, and if it ends in a promotion, so what? And that's what's kind of happening. It's the politicians involved too, the commissioners. It's on down. It's sad, but it's nasty
Nah,
corruption from the top down.
nah, I think it's just the reality of the situation. This is how it's been, going back to not even just the 20s, but back to the 1800s. These guys have had a whole 200 years to work out this system and work it to and figure it out to how they can work it to their best advantage. So they integrate themselves, they become mayors, they become aldermen, and then eventually they're in the position to appoint the police
Yeah.
chief or the police commissioner in this case. And that brother right there, who was robbing all those people and had 1,000 complaints, I'm sure he was a foot soldier for one of them politicians,
Oh, yes,
and
he
they
was.
probably protected him
Yes,
all
he
them
was,
years.
because the corruption went all the way up to the lead politician and the commissioner, because the commissioner was in on it. He was signing off on it. So it was a huge scandal in Nassau County. That's real talk.
No, absolutely. And unfortunately, because we have an orange retard, or excuse me, I can't say that R word, an orange invalid in the White House, we're gonna have more of those people on our streets. But moving on to the next story concerning a former police officer. Before I get into the more national topics, I saw this come up on my radar, and it was just shocking to me. Michigan jury awards nearly $60 million to a man who said his rights were violated by the prosecution. So this former police officer, his name was Sean McMaster. His wife, while her, or excuse me, ex-wife, while her and him were going through a custody dispute, she made an accusation that he was abusing his daughter sexually. The assistant attorney general, as well as the state police, they picked it up. He was charged with it. Later on, it came out that or excuse me, the wife made a phone call to him, and she basically admitted. She said, "Listen, you give up the custody case, and I'll drop this whole thing. I'll have the girl go on camera and say you didn't do it. That mommy just, or excuse me, that I was just imagining it." That they He took that recording, gave it to the attorney general, or excuse me, the assistant attorney general at the time, and they still continued on with the charges. And that assistant attorney general, about a couple months later, he had to resign because they found out he was having a sexual relationship with one of the victims from his case. So now come to find out, like, bro, y'all have been charging this man. Y'all had him fired from the state police. He can't raise his head nowhere. The relationship with his family has been damaged. And it was all off the lie of this one woman. And y'all knew she was lying. So this brother, he got $60 million for his reputational as well as emotional pain and suffering. But golly, I mean, what do you going to B3 first? B3, what do you think of? What word would I put on that for this prosecutor who was in charge of this case? What do you? I mean, that's just
The level.
scumbaggery. I'm gonna call it what I call the last dude. That's scumbaggery.
Well, I
That's just
mean, it
evil.
sounds like incompetence because that's why he ended up losing his job. He had to resign, correct? And then he cost the city or whatever. You said 60 million.
No. But this is back. Oh, so by the way, this whole case has been going on for at least 3 or 4 years. 3 years ago they charged him. I think they had the evidence. They had the voice recording from the mother that she coached the daughter, and they still continued to pursue charges. I think he lost his job in the midst of this.
That's disgusting, man. I mean, I just want to speak to the hatred of somebody to lie on a man. The fact that I don't know whatever wasn't working out with their relationship or whatever was going on to involve to turn a daughter against a father. I mean, that's nothing but the devil in a woman form. Uh, as my good brother told me, BBO, the devil has no face. So I mean, that's despicable, man. That's disgusting to hear. Pray for that brother and his family, and hopefully his daughter doesn't have any irreparable damage from going through this situation.
No, absolutely. And to Carl in the chat, I'm gonna tell you who bit the dust in a second. Just give me 1 second. We get into these first two topics. AC, my brother, and by the way, salute to D Free. Thank you so much for pulling up, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
No, thanks. Going to, I'm gonna come to you in 1 second, Free. Going to AC. What's your thoughts on the scumbaggery of the prosecution in this case, as well as the ex-wife?
Well, me sitting back, me maybe trying to make sense of the nonsense and trying to put in a little hindsight to it, I might have drawn the conclusion that at one point y'all was fucking around because you just don't do this type of shit unless you think that there's something in it for you from her. So what could be in it for you from her? That's where I'm at, and I think maybe an internal investigation on communication records and shit like that might expose something a little bit more nefarious because it's if you're the DA and you have that type of evidence, it would be crazy for you to put yourself in a position to be disbarred for this strange woman unless she had something to offer you or held over you. And that's where I'm gonna leave
Well,
that one.
Well, he definitely has a history of putting his hands in certain cookie jars where they don't belong. But we're gonna go to D Free. D Free, I don't know if you just heard my little summary of this story in which a man was falsely accused of abusing his own daughter and received $60 million in damages from the state because they had evidence that the abuse was not happening. More to the point, they had evidence that it was a lie that was placed on him, and they still continued on with the charges. What's your thoughts on that?
Um, I have to see what all the evidence they have because based off of what you just said, um, I don't know if that's enough evidence to say that it was a lie because she said if you drop the charges, if you don't go through with the custody case or whatever have you, then I drop the charge. I have her say that she lied. That's just you. That's just pretty much blackmailing. It doesn't mean that it didn't actually happen. It just proves blackmail a little bit. So I gotta hear the other evidence because that's not quite something to stand on. That's just saying, okay, this lady got another motive behind what she's doing. So I'm not saying that they didn't have more. Obviously, they did have more evidence because he got awarded the $60 million. So obviously, they have more evidence. So I'm just saying, based off of what the part that you told me, I would have went to his job and be like, hey, I don't know if you necessarily want to fire him behind this because there is it's looking kind of funny.
we're still going to go through with the case, and we'll see what the defense has. But I don't know if you necessarily want to find behind it because he got awarded the 60 million because of everything that came behind this, him losing his job and him being prosecuted and things like that. So um, like I said, I don't know. I mean, it's obvious that the prosecutor did some other shady stuff in his career because he got fired from other stuff that he did. So you have people like that. That is in all life, all work walks of life. They're going to do shady stuff. So it's just crazy that you have people that's supposed to hold up the law and they're doing stuff that's behind the scenes that's against what they're supposed to do, the oath that they sworn under and everything like that. It's just crazy that you see people do that.
No, absolutely. Salute to this brother McMaster. Salute to his family and their healing. That's some nasty, nasty stuff. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. But we're gonna move on to who bit the dust. The next one to bite the dust is Newsmax. God damn it! I don't know if y'all are too tapped into it. AC probably is. So basically, after the 2020 election, Donald Trump, as I'm sure you all know this, claimed that the election was stolen, that it was rigged. He said, "Stop the steal." He tried to get mail-in ballots basically turned away and rejected. Then he landed on the big lie that the Dominion voting machines were rigged for the Democratic Party and that there were millions of votes that basically flipped for Joe Biden. So Fox went around with that lie for I think basically two or 3 years. Then Dominion Voting Company, they came in and landed a $1.6 billion lawsuit on top of them. They went through with it. They went through the discovery, and what they found was that not only did Fox know that the Dominion voting rigging was a bunch of bullshit, they intentionally kept on with it to get to gain viewers, despite the fact they knew it was a bunch of bullshit. And they even had text messages and emails between Tucker Carlson saying, "Are we still going on with this bullshit?" And then the next hour, he's on the TV carrying the flag for this bullshit. But moving to Newsmax, or excuse me, staying on Fox News for a second, as a result of that, I think the day before they were set to go trial, Fox News paid out a 87 million dollar settlement to Dominion voting machines. The next one to bite the dust will be Newsmax. Newsmax just came out recently. They just paid $67 million in settlement money to Dominion voting machines for their false coverage. They were found to have also colluded with each other, or not colluded with each other, but they talked behind the scenes and they also acknowledged this was bullshit. But they kept playing it up. They kept damaging these people's reputations, all for the sake of placating Donald Trump's base and for their viewers. So I'm gonna quickly come to Ace, or excuse me, my brother B3, just quickly. What do you make? And we're gonna go further into this topic with the next question I'm gonna ask you. But B3, what do you make of these lying ass mainstream media companies being outed? I mean, we already knew they were liars, but what do you make of it being put on paperwork that they had to pay out money for lying, particularly about this for this orange retard?
You asking me or B3?
I said B3. But you could go first. That it don't matter to me. All right, I guess my brother B3 was doing something. All right, AC, I'm gonna come to you. What's your thoughts on the Dominion voting lawsuits or the settlements rather?
Well, they're appropriate. You know, you just can't come out your face and blatantly say shit and think that you're actually going to get away with it. So, I have no issues with any of the Dominion voting settlements. I applaud them. I think they're the right thing to do. And accountability, it just shows that accountability can be had. It's just people got to fight for it. If you're not fighting for your accountability, don't ask for it. You know. So with with that being said, you know, uh, I there are a couple of other networks and smaller joints, and pretty much every last one of them are either uh, either like Fox or under the Rupert Murdoch umbrella. So Dominion is probably going to be more profitable this year than it ever will be, based on the fact that it's got so many lawsuits sitting out there. And that's where I'll land that plane.
All right, coming to you, D Free. What's your thoughts on these settlements that these big media companies have had to pay out as a result of their lies?
Man, I don't know. All I know is if I was anybody that was a part of the Republican Party, I am not going to bat for Donald Trump. It seems like everybody that goes to bat for Donald Trump always get exposed for something. I'm gonna stay as humble and quiet as possible. I support them, but I'm gonna stay quiet as possible. I'm not going to back. They need to stay. I mean, I don't know what it is, but somebody in the Republican Party, whether it's all of them or somebody, need to say, you know what, we gotta get this man up out of here because it seems like everybody that goes to bat for Donald Trump gets exposed and they end up either having to go to jail or pay money or lose their company. It's something that's always going on with people that's going to back with Donald Trump. So I would stay far away from Donald Trump as possible because these companies are are losing their businesses or getting exposed for being frauds and doing some shady stuff. I wouldn't deal with them with, for by no means necessary.
No, absolutely. You notice you ain't seen Rudy Giuliani in a long ass time. Rudy Giuliani's been he's been dragged through the rings, the coals. He had to pay out $50 million. He had to lose his old classic car. They went and repossessed that. Everything in his apartment was cleaned out. If he had a watch from his father back in the 50s or the 40s, they took it. So absolutely, I get what you're saying. And then his only defense when Rudy Giuliani, he's a part of this whole voting lying bull crap. He basically said that the electorates were traitors, that they were liars, that they know the election was rigged, and they're still gonna vote against the real winner. He went when asked to defend those statements in court. His only defense was that I have a constitutionally protected First Amendment right to lie, and they said, "Hand me your $50 million worth of money or assets." But these people, they've been lying about this for a very long time. And I'm gonna move into the next topic, or really, it's in the same area, but it's going into voting. The We were talking about it last week, AC. The Texas Democrats, they have now finally came back. The quorum is restored. So Texas is going to go ahead with its redistricting plan so that they can pick up 5 more seats in Congress. So as a result of that, the Democrats in California are going ahead with their plan to redistrict and redraw their maps. What is your thoughts on that, AC? Do you see, and we have talked about it for a very long time, do you see a civil war brewing? Because if they decide to redistrict they shit, what if Louisiana come through or Florida come through and say, we're gonna redistrict? And then it's just a redistrict off, and New York and Illinois and free state of Maryland get involved. What's your thoughts, AC? I don't know. AC, I guess on the same road
Oh,
B3 as
no,
us.
no, no, no. My bad. I was talking and I didn't realize I had it on mute. But basically, I'm saying it like this: things are going to get real sticky for the GOP. This is not the move you really wanted to make. You feel what I'm saying? This is like one of those Doge moves where it sounds good on paper, but when you actually do it, it works against you. So here's the thing: once they redraw it to try to pick up these 5 seats, you're going to redraw districts that have Republican representation as far as the state is concerned. You feel what I'm saying? And you're going to have Republicans that now are in heavily Donald Trump voted areas some of them will lose their ability to vote. And this is why California is doing what it's doing, and things like that. Yeah, there's going to be plenty of Democrats that lose their seats, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to the overall uh, dispute distributing of federal funds and where federal tax money can go, if the Democrats in big cities redistrict their maps, guess what? You Republicans in these smaller states, they can draw you right out of your money that you think you're going to get. So, yeah, we might be heading for a civil war, but it's a civil war that Donald Trump is not going to win, and he's going to find a lot of his own constituents on the opposing side.
Well, I certainly hope me and you are on the same side of that war. But going on to my brother D Free. D Free, what's your thoughts on this redistricting fight?
Hold on one.
I give my brother D Free 1 second. But AC, I mean, it just speaks to, and I was talking to you the other day, it speaks to fair. And we're gonna get into Donald Trump. He's trying to put out an executive order to end mail-in ballots, which will almost certainly be struck down in court. But this shit speaks to fair to me. If y'all are so confident in your positions and your bills that you're voting on and the policies you're putting out there, particularly with these mass thugs going into people's neighborhoods, why do you have to rig the game? Why do you have to redraw maps? They're gonna try to do this in Florida, like I told you. Because they know those Cubans, particularly in Miami-Dade County, they are coming. They know that they realize now that y'all were a bunch of fucking liars. And that y'all just wanted to pack up their grannies and their fucking nephews and their goddamn what you call a Puerto Rican auntie or a Spanish auntie. I don't give a damn. But they know
Yep.
y'all don't got nothing good for them.
See,
Y'all view them
it's
like scum. You don't view them like human beings like me and AC view each other like brothers. Y'all
it's
view them as the goddamn ice cream people, or the fucking busmen, or the fucking gardeners. You think they're a servant class, and they should get packed up whenever you need them to. I
yeah, for
can't
sure.
wait for this next election. It's gonna be some fireworks,
Now,
AC.
here's the crazy thing. There's only one reason why you're trying to do this, and there's only one reason and one reason only. You feel me? For everything what you're trying to fight with mail-in ballots, where you're trying to go after Title II and things like that of the
That's another thing.
Voting Rights Act and all of that. It's simply because you guys know when the House comes back, there is all types of pressure. 11 Republicans are on board right now to release the Epstein files. And I'm going to say it again, and
Mm.
I'm typing it and everything. If the Republicans truly had a legitimate Democrat's name that's in the Epstein files that shows fuckery, they would have released it. Then there would have been all of these House Senate hearings on what the Democrats knew, when did they know it, and it just justifies them. The sheer fact that you don't want to release the facts, you don't want to release the files, and knowing that Donald Trump is pretty much the only legitimate name in them joints, along with Alan Dershowitz and a couple of other people, but they're all prominent Republicans. That says something that everyone's not talking about. And the sheer fact that he wants to rig these elections and draw maps and things like that is because they know Republicans are going to vote against him, and Democrats are going to vote against him because this is not what they signed for. You had people going to shoot up pizza parlors because they said this pizza shop is where Pizzagate happened, where they were doing the child trafficking in the Democrats. Now Donald Trump is involved in this thing, and the only way you could get out of it and keep that man in power is to redistrict this joint. So let's not get too caught up in, oh, they're redistricted. No, no, no. I see what you're doing, but I know why you're doing it. You can try to say what you're saying, but the real reason is y'all want to stay in power because this dude is involved in that. And many of you Republicans that are still in office are involved in that.
Now, most dev. D free, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
What's your thoughts
Yeah.
on firstly the redistricting fight? Then we're gonna go to the other stuff.
I mean, like I said, everything that's following behind Donald Trump is all slowly crumbling down, and it's kind of hard to fight fight against the system when this is the very system that y'all was using to get what y'all wanted, and now all of a sudden because it didn't go in y'all favor, y'all want to say that there's something wrong with the system. Y'all was using the same system when Donald Trump got in office. That was the same system that y'all just used once again when Donald Trump got in office. But when it worked for the Democrats, now you want to say it's a problem with the system? No, it's just y'all lost and y'all don't understand that y'all lost and y'all trying to find a reason why y'all lost. And it's just crazy. And y'all gotta understand that things don't always go the way you want it to go because y'all believe that it should. And so when you have people like that, or you have a party like that, it causes a friction in everybody, and it's gonna be some issues that they're gonna have to deal with, and it very well could cause some type of friction between the parties, between within the same party, because everybody's not going along with it. You already have people that's going against some of the stuff that Donald Trump is talking about, some of the stuff that the Republicans are trying to uphold. You have other Republicans that don't go along with it. So it's just crazy what's going on with the Republicans.
No, absolutely. I think, and like I said, free. I think it comes from a lot of it comes from fear. Why they're doing the measures they're doing, like me and AC were just talking about with Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. They're trying to get that repealed. They're redistricting because they know these people are going to come out in droves against the GOP in 2026. And when you have a group of people who believe they can get whatever they want whenever they want, it's two things you could call that. Number one, either they're children, or number two, it's a cult. When you believe that anything you should be able to get anything you want whenever you want, or rather, when the leader of a group thinks he should get anything he wants whenever he wants, and you're willing not only to commit crimes to get that done for them, you're willing to bend reality. You're willing to literally say that there's MS-13 on this young man's knuckles. There's nothing on his knuckles. And I'm talking about this is something that happened a couple months back with the brother that got sent to El
Yeah.
Salvador.
The Emilio Garcia case.
Yeah, no, Abrego
Yeah,
Garcia, yeah.
Albreo Garcia, my bad.
Yeah.
Albrego.
He sat there and he's putting up a picture with MS-13 on his knuckles. This is a completely photoshopped picture. But the people who the mainstream media like Fox News and Newsmax, the two lying motherfuckers we just talked about, they're willing to do whatever. They're bending reality. They're reporting this man had MS-13 on his knuckles. This motherfucker says it's a genocide going on in South Africa, while it's a real one going on in Israel. He says Ukraine invaded, or excuse me, they started the war with Russia. Like, I've never seen no shit like that before in my life where, I wish I could do that, bro. I wish I could just say shit and then people just validate me immediately. Like all the stupid, crazy shit I be saying on the boxing show free. I wish y'all would just immediately validate me instead of telling me why
Exactly.
I'm wrong.
Exactly. Like, what would life be like if that was a thing to where everybody gets validated just with anything that they
Or anytime I'm wrong or I'm caught in a lie, oh, it's a hoax. It's
yeah,
fake.
they're eating the cats and dogs and shit like that. So yeah, all right.
Uh, this guy is a fucking cartoon character. I say before I go say it again, they're gonna study Donald Trump for years. Okay, excuse thousands of years. How the fuck we went from Barack Obama to Donald Trump inside of 10 years? This guy is a fucking retard. Did you hear him today talking on Fox News? and he was talking about Sean Hannity, and he basically outed the fact that Sean Hannity and the host of the Fox and Friends are dating. And this was not publicly known information. This nigga just blurted it out. Hey, but that's your president, AC.
Yeah, bro.
He from your neck of the woods. He from New
He,
York. That's
man,
your
we don't
guy,
claim
AC.
that dude no more. We stopped claiming that dude a minute ago. This is why Nas and everybody else who was putting in rap songs talking about this dude. He was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing, bro? Why did you mention this goofy ass dude? Why did you mention in this cornball? Serious, man? You know what I'm saying?"
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Go ahead, AC. Go ahead. Now I'm gonna go to
No,
B3.
but basically, all I was gonna say was, at the end of the day, man, New York does not look at what we did. We took his name down to where, as now that he's back in office, he's petitioning to put his name back. Like, if you don't put my name back, I'm not gonna allow these buildings to have insurance. Like, this dude is literally crazy with the stuff he's trying to do, and it's like, man, get out of here, Trump. New York
But
don't
no,
want
it,
you
it
back.
ain't just the fact that he thinks it, it's the fact he says it. Like, you
Yeah.
know how blatantly corrupt that is? And this dude can say it out loud. And nobody does shit. There's no commissions, there's no special investigators, there's no hearings being called. He can literally threaten to cut off federal funds. So this money is
For a
in
private
law.
company, for a
It's
private
written in
company
law.
at that.
I'm not like, nah, man, I wish I could be a Donald Trump. Man, I look up to this nigga. I wish I could just lie and control shit. But B3,
Look up
my
to
brother,
this nigga.
well, not complete. I mean, you see the nigga he's standing
Come
next to
on, man.
behind in this background. So no, I don't wish I was completely like this nigga. But
Okay.
B3, before you dropped off, we
And
were just talking about the redistricting fight. The Democrats in Texas have come home. The quorum has been restored. The redistricting in Texas is going to go ahead so they can get 5 more seats in Congress. California has responded with their own redistricting. Where do you see this redistricting war ending? And personally, why do you feel that the Republicans have to stoop to these dirty tactics?
I mean, it's all for power at the end of the day. I mean, when they have to have certain, like, even with gerrymandering, right? Like, at the end of the day, they need things their way. They want to push they in a position of power right now. The Republicans are, with the Supreme Court and of course with the White House. So it's they're gonna, I mean, for lack of a better term, they're gonna let their nuts hang. They're gonna push the proverbial needle every chance they can get. Because you don't know how long they're gonna be in a position of power, because it does typically swing sometimes every 2 years, sometimes every 4 years, and then if it's not going well, it might be 6 to 8. So hope what they're doing is, even though they may be getting bad PR right now, they're hoping that they can do enough damage or put enough in their favor to where once everything settles out and people kind of start voting the opposite way, is more than likely within the next term or the next 2 terms, then they've already done the damage. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Supreme Court. I'm kind of scared of what they can do with this guy Trump. Like you're saying, he has the. It seems like he speaks as if he has the power to just dole out any type of punishment he sees fit. So the Republican Party, they're going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, it's the game. Real fast, just to piggyback off of what he said, it's the game plan. I say that outrageous thing, put out the outrageous executive order. The lower courts are going to block me. That's exactly what I want them to do. Because once the lower court blocks me, I go to the higher up appellant lower court. You then block me, and I say, okay, now I'm going to take it to my people in the Supreme. That's where it's really law of the land.
100%. Yeah.
So what states have to realize is whether you're a Republican or Democratic state, everything still the way the Constitution works, the way our democracy works. We have things from the federal government, but the states have a certain right to run the state the way the state seem to be fit. Look at how many states ban abortion, although abortion used to be on the federal level, was federally protected. But the states have a right to say, listen, I could follow those guidelines, but I still have to do, I still can do what I want to do because that's the way it works. We're all independent, working towards a united whatever, whatever. So the states still have the power regardless. But once he takes it to the Supreme Court, that's what he wants to do. So every fight, just he wants it to end up in the Supreme Court.
My only my only thing is I'm not very hopeful because, like you said, I mean, they control. It's like B3 said, they control every branch of government. They got the executive, the legislative, and with the six right leaning Supreme Court justices, they got the Supreme Court. So it's just really tough. But I still have some confidence that these people do believe that, specifically the justices, that they do believe in our country and our constitution and our laws and our norms, based on what they did with Abrego. They said basically 9-0 unanimously that you cannot just snatch somebody up and send them to a death camp. So that gives me hope that something is still standing in this country when we talk about norms and pillars.
Yeah, that's why I'm making the state issue argument. Like all
No, absolutely. And then
the
moving to the
physicists and stuff like that will argue it's a state right issue. So then
we can't hear
let
you, AC.
it be a state right issue.
We can't hear you, AC.
Oh, you can hear me now. My
Yes, sir.
No, I was just saying, if the Republicans for years while Obama was in office kept on claiming everything, and even Obama's executive orders were illegal and legitimate because everything is a rights issue, then Democrats, you have to start to use the same arguments, the same playbooks, just like Obamacare was a federal law, but many states opted out of it. You feel what I'm saying? Maybe because the provision was written in. But if you get a couple of good Democrats that say, you know what, just to make your bill seem bipartisan, I will vote for it, but you have to give the states, just like you guys railed on for 12 years of Obama being in office, that everything was a state right issue, and then you brought up state right issues when it came down to many of Joe Biden's executive orders, like the one dealing with student loan debt. So at the end of the day, listen, I'll give you your vote, but it has to be a state rights issue. Every state has the ability to opt in or opt out of it, and this is where the minority party can start to fight and get real leverage. That's what I think.
No, absolutely. My brother BVO on the panel. I call him the Orange Man tap dancer extraordinaire. He loves himself some Orange Man. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. How about you, brother?
I'm doing real good. I'm doing real good. What's your thoughts on the current topic we on, BVO? We had some
I just
pretty
want,
raunchy topics before that, but let's stick on this. What's your thoughts on the redistricting and that California is gearing up to do their own?
um, I think it's for me. It's another way to try to control the vote. Um, Republicans have been doing this for a long time until around 2016. You kind of seen support for Republicans kind of declining because they were not, as people say, meeting the every man's issue. And now with Donald Trump and how polarizing he is with his demagoguery, I think he's done a great job of relating himself to the common man. So people look at Trump as someone who's fighting for him. Um, because this is the first time him and Joe Biden have done more than any presidents that we've seen. The two oldest ones have done the most. Joe Biden with the CARES Act was a huge victory. People don't understand how great the CARES Act was for our country. Um, Trump with the improvement with criminal justice. I mean, there's so many good things going on. I don't know. I don't know what's next, but I know that when two parties become very similar, what they try to do is they try to do things to make themselves similar. They're not, because if you look at Mitt Romney and Barack Obama, they seem like the same candidate. You don't see that anymore. That kind of decorum, that kind of like friendship, you don't really see that anymore. I just think really what it comes down to it is the Democrats they got a messaging issue. Redistricting hurts them. Redistricting can be perceived as controlling the vote and changing predominantly, big counties like Philadelphia, Chicago, those cities that really move states. They're trying to like limit that, which I think is a complete joke. But that's all I got on it. But
Well,
I
no,
definitely want to.
I heard a point
But
that you made. You said Donald Trump is where he's doing well with criminal justice. Can you just speak to
I think he
the groups
drugged
they
out.
can
No,
you
we
hear
hear.
me?
I
when
hear
I when I
B3.
speak to
Good.
that,
Yeah, can you just speak to the
uh,
groups who's being targeted in these attacks?
what I'll say is this: if you look at what he's done with him and the great Van Jones was, to me, I would say, the heartbeat of Obama. Um, him and Van Jones and and their team sat down and came up with a way to not make a felony forever punishment. I think that's great. He got the lady that he, excuse me for not having her name on hand, but they kind of made her like the head of pardons. She was pardoning. We've seen it where, a guy like Larry Hoover might be getting to come home. We've seen it, Kilpatrick got to come home. We're seeing some great things in our government. I just think at the end of the day, the Democratic Party has a messaging problem. They don't have a problem with what they're doing. It's a messaging problem, because what Trump has done is a great job of making it seem like a show of strength. Feminism has ravaged the black community and the brown community so much that anything that's anti that, people pick it up, even if they don't realize that it's poison on the end of that thing. And I just think really what Trump is doing, it's good and it's bad. It's just I've never seen a guy like him. One minute he's smiling, but I got to give him his credit. He's a great guy getting his message across. We haven't seen this since the likes of Obama and even Ronald Reagan. For a long time, so we see guys just good at messaging.
I would probably
Blasphemy.
say it's the rest of the media that's really good at messaging Donald Trump. Like his message
Yeah.
itself is quite often incoherent, and it's one of those situations that you find him say something specific, and then the general public will say, well, or his most staunch supporters will say, no, 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 that's not what he's saying. This is it. This is what he's saying. No, but I heard him say that. No, it doesn't matter what you heard. This is what he's saying. And if everyone repeats it, and you go on, from towns, from parts of the country that are extremely rural, that have maybe one or two news stations, and these news stations are echoing that same talking point of not what he said, but this is what you should be hearing, then yeah, the messaging thing seems to be that way. The messaging apparatus is working. You feel what I'm saying? So it's
You're making
it's
a great point.
marketing
Hundred
10
percent, bro.
it's
Hold on.
marketing
Hold on. Hold
I
on.
101.
Let
think.
him finish. Let him finish. Good.
It's
Go
all
ahead,
I
my
was going
bad.
to say. It's marketing 101, because with the Democrats think they're too smart. And the problem in that is, you know, smart the thing with smart people is smart people believe I can't be fooled or duped by a stupid person. But here's the thing, if that stupid person knows how to manipulate that market, it doesn't matter how smart you think you are. I'm still gonna manipulate your shit, and that's the problem. For me, at least, that's the way I see it.
You
Go
make
ahead,
a
Big
great
Yo.
point. You make a great point. Appreciate you letting me get on this one, Mark. You make a great point because the Bible says they will use simple things to confound the wise. What you've been seeing, and this is a great point that Dave Chappelle has made, that you had Hillary Clinton, you had Obama speaking a certain way. And the average population, man, people can't read and write, let alone understand what you're saying when you talk about complex issues that affect not only them, but their grandchildren. Someone's going to have to pay for the stuff that we're doing today. If you didn't realize that was a real thing, guess what? This last summer was the first time that Great Britain had paid us back for what we did for them in World War II. That was in 1945. We did all that war helping them rebuild when Germany bombed them out. So I'm telling you, man, it's not. I don't even know what it is. I just think people want to hear somebody sound like they can identify them. That's why you see Trump eat French fries, Big Macs, Diet Cokes. You don't eat that junk, but on TV he do. We all was little kids and seen Trump with the Pizza Hut pizza and the pepperonis on it. So I just think people like Obama come across as he's shoving his nose at what you call a bourgeois Negro. When he kind of wagged his finger at black men, I think that really hurt him. My bad. Go ahead.
No, I actually agree with you on this point. I do think on one hand the Democrats they leaned in too much into this third wave feminism just a little bit too much. They alienated real men. They brought in too many trans people. Or I'm not gonna say too many trans. I mean, you can have as many trans people as you want, but don't make that the base of your messaging that we're gonna fight for these people and that's gonna be our fight for equality. You're gonna lose a lot of the particularly the guys that were raised up in conservative households, conservative or excuse me, guys that were raised in black conservative households like me and BBO, because I'm not with all of that crap. Like and what you said about messaging is also true. I mean, that commercial where Donald Trump took Kamala Harris's words from an interview in 2019 where they asked her, "Would you support sex change operations for illegal immigrants?" Like, bro, that's just masterful. And then at the end, you say, Kamala is for they, them. Trump is for you. On top of the fact, like these people, because the Democrats realized, oh shit, the fairy dust on all the LGBTQ stuff has ran out. It has ran out, and we are dead in the middle of the desert. They decided we're not going to what's the word not admonish, but they decided not to even talk about it at all. And that's part of one of the things that also killed them. A lot of their left leaning base decided to stay home because they just did not believe in this Democratic Party.
Yeah,
And then lastly, before I let somebody else go, Obama, man, Obama should have just stayed on his fucking vineyard. I don't know who the hell he think he is. And I love Obama. I loved Obama since I was 7 years old. And I saw that this black man was gonna become president. But who the fuck do you think you are to living on a multi-million-dollar property? We ain't seen you in years. The first time we see you, you coming down to lecture us and about how, oh, black man, now listen here, you gotta stand up and you gotta stand up for your sisters. Kamala needs us. So no, I agree. I definitely do think the Democratic Party had a messaging problem. I don't think they have it anymore. The message is Epstein. The message is healthcare and nutrition is going to be taken away if the Republicans win in 2026. That's the message.
You know
I'm
the
going to
thing that
say
you're
it like
saying
this.
is.
Go ahead, bro.
Hold on, I gotta
Oh,
say something real
all right. I
quick.
just wanted to come in and piggyback off of basically both of y'all's talking points. For me, I don't really consider it a messaging issue because here's the thing: you want Big Tent politics, right? But you're where are elections, major elections, the presidential elections, where are they won or lost? Are they won in big cities, or are they won in the Bible Belt of America? And that Bible Belt of America is basically what
The swing states.
what the
Yep.
yeah what the early founding fathers wanted to put these rural communities to let them have our election. That's why the electoral college is so remote when you look at the of the population of America. You feel what I'm saying? So when you're in these remote areas, you know where the gay community is in your state. The gay community in your state is in fucking California, in Philadelphia, in New York, and Chicago. That's where the gay people go that are in your
Yep.
community, because they know if they stay there, they're either going to get killed or they have to lead a life that's just.
Don't say the K word, bro. Don't say the K
Oh,
word.
my bad, my bad.
Yeah,
But
say
they just have
unalive.
to unalive. They have to lead. They have to lead a life that's a big lie. You feel what I'm saying? And they don't want that exposure. So what do? The minute they have money and they're gonna save their money, they're gonna come to New York. They're gonna live in Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, in my community, and all of these other places. But the Democrats seem to think that that message that you're telling me in Brooklyn is the same message someone in deep Illinois. No,
If I
are you
if I lived
freaking
in New York,
stupid?
if I lived in New York, man, I would be pissed. New York City is an absolute hellhole as far as living conditions.
No, I
Unless
can't
you
say
have a,
that. It's
I'm gonna tell
amazingly
you what I'm
beautiful
saying
out.
is because you in New York, you don't realize how old the stuff you guys are using is. A lot of stuff is ancient, dude. The thing that you guys have, from the plugs, the elevators. I mean, you guys are using stuff from the 50s all throughout the city.
I
And I'm not
remember.
saying that to cast
I
aspersion.
saw.
I don't know
No, no, no.
who gave
This
you
is what I'm
that.
saying. What I'm
Hold
saying
on. My,
is,
my bad for cut.
go ahead.
My bad for cutting you off, BBO. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, all I'm saying is, for all the taxes that you guys pay, you guys are getting ripped off. That's a
Man,
52% tax rate.
them
It's a 52% tax rate. But
Hold
when I
on,
go to
V3.
the
Let AC
subway,
respond.
I got to worry about getting knocked in the head, or I got to worry about these old ancient elevators and infrastructure. I mean, it's if you're not, I'm telling you, man, if you stayed outside New York for a little bit, you will see how old the city really is, man. It's
Bro,
ancient, dude. It's
I'm gonna
ancient,
try
bro.
to tell you like this. New York is my indigenous home. I'm Native American, right? My tribe is Shinnecock, right? Where I
Right.
Brooklyn, where I live at, the Brooklyn
Uh-huh.
Museum will show you Harriet Tubman's Underground Railroad actually was part of the tunnels that make Brooklyn, New York's subway system, right? Now,
Right.
thing was as far as uh, your claim as New York being old, you have no idea the development that's been going on. Development that's been is retarded. Like there are bike lanes, there are coffee shops, the streets are crazy, crazy clean. And I'm a lifelong native, and I'm saying this is not the Brooklyn that I grew up. This is not the Bed-Stuy that I grew up in. When you talk about out New York's taxes, we have one of the highest rate, if not the highest rate, because we delegate the most money, and California comes in second to Republican states. So
Yep.
these Republican states are living off of our high cost, and they are the ones who are receiving New York City welfare. I kid you not. This is an absolute fact. You can Google this information. But so what I'm saying is in order to keep that going, the city has to update. We have green buses. I can tell you right now, I can show you the outline of the new bus stations that will have AI, because our buses are about to be fully automated. They already have AI buses through many of the boroughs. So now we're looking at full automation. They're tearing up the streets to put in the grids. I could put my device right now on camera and show you how they're tearing up the streets so they can put these devices in that allow the AI buses and the automated AI buses to stay on time, deal with traffic. Also, these things are wired with face recognition software. So if you have a warrant, the bus will let you on board the bus and notify the police of the next bus stop so the police can come
Oh,
get you.
that's nasty.
That is crazy, right? So when you talk about, so this is all I'm saying. To do stuff like that, you have to update the city. So New York City, this is why it's so crucial, this mayoral race, because you have the progressive guy that's now telling MTA, okay, if this is what you want to do, you got to provide free bus service. You can't charge people no more for the buses. You could charge them for the trains, but for the buses, This is why
But
Eric Adams. It's a race because this is to control New York City money and to have a Republican in charge in 2025. Oh my God,
I don't I
welfare
don't
for
think
Republican states will be crazy.
I don't even think that shit is fair. Like Zoran is basically running against nobody. On one side, you have a corrupt fucking mayor that was doing deals with Donald Trump, and then you have a disgraced governor slash pervert who also had multiple scandals for covering up the numbers of people dying in nursing homes. And then both of them are loyal to Israel. Like this just isn't even a competition. But just quickly touch on this for a second, AC, because I know you live in the city. How do you feel about Mamdani and a lot of his socialist policies? Like I consider myself to be a socialist in the sense that, well, when after you turn 18, I think your decisions are your own. But before 18, I think every child should have nutritional support, healthcare, education. Once you turn 18, I think you should be given the option to go to trade school. But when I see some of the things that Donnie is proposing, like government funded grocery stores, like I can see that being a big problem for like small mom and pop shops that might be have their little bodega on the corner.
See, now
You
that's,
understand what I'm saying?
and for me, that's always been the issue with the socialist policies because it treads on the the pop it treads on the ability of other people to be able to come in and experience the American dream. Regardless of where you come from, if you're an immigrant in this country, you came here for one reason and one reason only: capitalism. It's the ability that tells me when I go down to Broadway and I see the Mexican ladies sitting there with the fruit and the little chili powders and stuff like that, trying to make a living. That is capitalism at work. That's not socialism at work. That's capitalism at work. When I see the immigrants many immigrants that are here on work visas to learn things and things like that, that's capitalism at work. So for me, when I look at historically socialism, police department, firemen, GI bills, and things like that, none of it was, when it was all started, none of it was accessible by black folks. We had to fight for that. That's with the civil rights movement. It's civil liberties
Hmm.
that you're fighting for. So for me to have health insurance, it wasn't accessible for black people. So at the end of the day, things like that were socialistic policies that weren't afforded, that black people still had to fight for. So
Red Hampton Soup Kitchen.
exactly. So for me, I'm always on the fence when you come in just trying to promote a socialistic forward policy. If you introduce it in a democratic form or format, you feel what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with the policy. There's nothing wrong with saying, okay, every child under 18 years old should have preventative health care. That means if the child gets sick, we're talking about shots and things like that. All of that shit should be free. It shouldn't fall under my parental thing. It should be a states' right issue. It should be a federal issue because we're talking about the general health of the country. When you get to a certain age, after you put in your work, these things should be automatic. While you're of working age, I do not believe, unless there is some sort of physical or mental whatever that's dealing with you, or your state has a very low GPA, to whereas your state doesn't produce a lot of things and it's just maybe one factory, then yes, you can get the welfare. Your state can be a welfare state, and in that welfare state, everyone gets that health care. But if you're in major cities and other places like that, I'm 100% on board that no, you should not get free health care. You should work for it, and it goes into your social security or however the states want to do it. So when I look at what man done, a lot of his policies, I'm like, bro, If you don't ease up on some of this shit, you gonna let a person like Eric Adams beat you again. That
Nah, I don't
nobody's gonna
see.
vote. Nobody's gonna vote for Cuomo. Cuomo is out, and if it comes down to it, you have to think the mom and pop, just like you just said, the mom and pop bodega, the small little supermarkets, like the one. There's two up the block from me. It's a Puerto Rican family invested all their money and they opened up this supermarket on DeKalb and I think they're Ecuadorian or something like that. They opened up a supermarket. So at the end of the day, these are two excellent supermarkets. So if you go ahead and have a government sponsored supermarket, how does that work and how does it affect that bottom line of where this country was built on capitalism? Now you're fucking up capitalism. And this is where people are going to be like, look, man, I still want my ability to do what I got to do. If you just talking about some healthcare shit, all right, I'll fuck with you. But now that you trying to tell me how to eat and what I can and cannot, that's still my civil liberties. If I want to eat a burger every day, that's the fuck I do. That's why I came to this country.
No,
So
absolutely agreed. And man, you broke it down right there. I think we need a good mix of capitalism as well as socialism. I think we need free schools and free bus rides, but I also think we need certain not a lot, but I do think certain tax breaks are good and they do help with economic activity. But BVO, we're gonna end the show out now. BVO, you got any thoughts on that topic? B3.
Free is crazy though, Marky. Like that's the whole
I
thing.
said B3. B3.
No. I said free is crazy. Like you know, we gotta monitor spending um as well. So that's the whole thing. Uh, I was just kind of thinking of a concept of why doesn't the government just, have a fund that they pay hospitals for those, like you saying with social security numbers that come into the hospital without insurance. Why don't they have instead of, they should already have something in place. Well, the bill, that's the thing. That's what people gotta understand. It's the spending, is it has to make sense. So you can't have thousands upon thousands of hospitals claiming, government funds. That's gonna get expensive. So that's the only thing, Marky. Free is just that's a slippery slope right there, bro.
I don't know. When
Well,
you got the northern country above us, their healthcare is free. Nobody
yep.
pays for healthcare.
Not only the northern country above us, but you go to the Scandinavian countries, the Finlands, the Swedens, the Lithuanias. Not only do they have B3, not only do they have and I take your point. Yes, they're smaller countries. They don't have as many people, and they don't have the need for as many hospitals. But still, and even in Israel, all these different places seem to be able to give their people free health care. And we supposed to be the biggest country producing with the
Okay.
biggest economy in the world, in the history of the world, producing the most economic activity in the world. But we can't afford to make sure that every child has health care. I just think that's ridiculous, especially when we just sent Israel $20 billion. Like, that's just bullshit. So free, and if it has to come out of my taxes, I don't have no problem with that. I much prefer to make sure that kids have health care, particularly if it's going, especially if my kids are going to be included in that. I much prefer that than sending it to another country. But anyway, any other thoughts on that B3? Anybody else got any thoughts? Give your final words, then we're gonna get out of here.
uh, great show, bro. On to the next one, man. Salute to everybody on the panel, man. Everybody was cooking. Great topics, bro.
No, thank you. B3, any final words?
Nah,
Nah, I mean,
man.
man,
Just another great show, bro.
yeah, great show, Marky
Appreciate
man. And
it.
if y'all catching this on the playback, make sure y'all hit my man's like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed.
No, thank you so much, D Free. I really appreciate that, my brother B3. BVO, my brother. You told me to be more consistent. It's two, this I think three back. I think matter of fact, this is four lives in the past 5 days I've done. What's your final thoughts, brother? I don't know. I guess BVO must have fell out or something. But once again, thank y'all for coming up. Shout out to all my brothers up here: D Free, B3, BVO, AC. He was just up here. Shout out to all my brothers in the Sports Talk Network. BVO, I don't believe is going live tonight. I don't believe Free is going live tonight either. You go live on Wednesday, right, Free? Okay.
Yeah, I'll be live Wednesday and I will be live Thursday.
All right, that's what's up. So look out for my brothers. And before I get out, thank you for coming through, Jay Gibson. I really appreciate that. But
Not a problem,
thank
man.
you.
You already know we all about supporting each other.
Most def, most def. Thank you to all my brothers in the STN once again. Thank you for everybody that came through. I'm gonna catch y'all next time, man. Peace.